eat like slaves anymore because we're not slaves.
If you cannot control what you eat, then you cannot control what you feel.
Eat your largest meals in the middle of the day, not the end of the day.
What part the homeostasis plays, you're on your way to healing yourself. The homeostasis is the internal environment where your body is at its ultimate functionality for healing. Just keep in mind that everything that is happening to you is happening for you.
Hello, and thank you all for joining us today. I am Carolyn, and you are in the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. And today's topic is the best nutrients for healthy aging. So we're talking about aging healthy. So that's going to be something that I think we all really use, information that we can all really use. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you have not already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is Dr. Farid Zarif. So, Dr. Zarif, can you join me here on stage so we can get started with this great information that I know we are going to hear today?
Wonderful. It's great being here. How are you?
I'm doing great. You look great. How are you?
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I feel really wonderful, and I'm really excited about this. Aging gracefully. I mean, is it possible? I mean, so many people just seem like they're just waiting around to die. It's like, I did everything. I'm going to, and just get old and wither away. But we're going to see if we can perhaps give you some ideas as we speak to you today about how you can actually, start a new life or improve your life or, learn more as you go and not to abbreviate your life. So that's what we're talking about when it comes to gracing or aging gracefully. Hold on, because we're going to come we got a lot of stuff we're going to squeeze in today. I know we get part 1, part 2, but let's see how much we can get done today.
Absolutely. I'm ready for it.
Let's get some shout outs.
Absolutely. I see here Yolanda Rogers. Good morning. Blessing from Dearborn, Michigan. Big Mama. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. Sophia Jackson. Good morning from Columbia, Maryland. Thank you so much. Allison Gento, thank you for
hey
Dad. Tuning in from Los Angeles, California. I'm sure he didn't say, but I'm sure that's where he is. And hi to Mom. I know she's just getting off work and she's always tuning in the background as well. So thank you so much, Mommy. Yeah. My Leah says hi, Z. I'm in Vegas.
What? My Leah in the house. If my Leah I saw you live for a few seconds. You was living it up yesterday. I didn't get a chance to say hi, but I'm glad to see you now.
Absolutely. And on Instagram, we have MJ Army 816. Thank you so much for joining us. And Sky Aim Productions. Thank you so much for joining us over in Instagram as well.
Beautiful. So let's get it on, shall we? We want to go ahead. We want everybody to make sure that you ask any questions or, the comments that you'd like to make. But we really want you to get into this as we explore the different ways of being gracefully aged. It's something that we can't avoid, so we might as well learn how to be quite graceful about it all. Okay, so here we go. Stand by, and we're going to talk about why is it so important that we look at this in a different way, because in the ways that we're looking at it right now, it's just so finite, and it just seems to be over so rapidly. So we want you to keep in mind that there's much more to living, much more to life. And as we go through this wonderful journey, that we can do things to keep us healthy. Family is super important. Your goals are important, your different projects, and having the courage to do something that you haven't done, or having a new project. One of the greatest things I ever heard from an older person is saying that don't let the day catch you without a project. You should have a plan every day and not just let life happen to you, but you can make life happen itself. Okay, so I want you to go along with me here, because we're going to talk about many of the things that we can add to our already wonderful life, or some of those things that perhaps will embellish our lives. There's some people who look at and label as they label themselves as aging gracefully, but when it really comes down to it, what is aging gracefully? But maybe there's something in the way that a person presents themselves, or maybe there's an aura about that particular person, or that those people that feels joyful and uplifting. Whatever it is, it makes us admire them. But what does it mean to age gracefully? And to age gracefully, and that means that there's something that's different in everyone. And this is one of the things that some people go through their entire life, is that they want to continue to push the narrative that we are one. And guess what? No, we are definitely uniquely different. And we can agree on things, but we can't be the same. We cannot be one. And I know that's really hard to get. And some people may say, oh, it's semantics. Yeah, we are one. Even if you are husband and wife, boyfriend and girlfriend, you're soulmates. One person may like hot chocolate in the morning, and the other one may like tomato juice in the morning, but we're different. And instead of abandoning one another or quarreling with each other because of those differences, celebrate the uniqueness. Aging gracefully can mean something different to every person. To some people, aging gracefully might mean staying physically healthy. For others, it might mean maintaining strong relationships, or keeping a sharp mind. But take time to reflect on your values and identify it with what it means for you to age gracefully. And it changes from person to person. You know, other people might say, you know what, I love to paint, or I love to travel now, or some people might just say, I love the way I look, or I change the way I dress. All of these things can be possible, but setting a goal, your objectives, making sure that you have a plan as much as you can every day. And this, what it does, it reduces the risk of reactivity. To react to something doesn't require thought. To respond to something takes thought first. So setting your goals, this would be the number one thing in understanding the importance of constructivity, or productivity would be even more direct. Once you understand what it means to you to age gracefully, you can begin setting your goals and to help to ensure that you're living out the rest of your life in the best way that you can. And you've identified this aging gracefully as spending time with your family, or to set a goal for how many times per week or per month you like to see them. That's a plan. You got to have some kind of schematic, some kind of scheme. Other than that, it's chit chat, it's hyperbole. Or you can develop a plan around how the family members that you spend one-on-one time with, and this way you'll have a specific time, a specific amount of time that you spend with those family members. Now, don't be afraid to make changes and make small changes. Don't, I'm going to change my whole life in 30 seconds. You want to make sure that in setting your goals, you are feeling great about it. You're taking your time about it. You want to achieve these goals unless you won't be able to achieve these goals unless you actually making the changes that are necessary. And the changes that are necessary are those things that you do in setting your goals. When you don't set your goals, it's very easy to overwhelm yourself. If you want to improve or you want to maintain your physical health, start by taking 15-minute walks every other day, or maybe every 2 days, but get started. And you can do this little by little. You can also start, take 10 minutes every morning and doing a puzzle, or each night before going to bed. Change it up a little bit. And this keeps your brain active. This reduces the risk of disease, infection, and just some of the common reasons that people grow old and just simply allow time to take over. You have to stay consistent. One of the things that we notice that in most people that don't really get their lives going and they really don't achieve those things they set out to achieve is because they're inconsistent. They're inconsistent, and they're also pretty much stuck in the way that they've always thought. Making positive changes in your life requires consistency, which is why it's best to start small, those small steps, poquito. Even on those days that when you feel, you just can't get it going, stick to your routine, because that's just a fleeting mood. A lot of times we get in these moods and we feed that mood. Like depression only wants depression. So depression wants to get more depression. While consistency is important, it's also good to stay flexible, open, be open to an idea. Just don't, I know everything. You can't tell me anything. You might just also discover that the goals or your changes have made, the ones that you've made aren't making you happy as you expected. In either case, stay flexible and adjust momentarily to find out what you're going to bring, what is going to bring you the most joy in your graceful aging. Now, next, you should choose healthy meals. Let's get right into it, because, eating healthy meals makes a big difference. What you eat becomes the material that you are. Again, what you eat, what you ingest, becomes the very tissue, the very cells that you are. Healthy eating is a cornerstone of healthy aging. You can't eat junk and then you want to gracefully age. It just doesn't go together. Select healthy meals and healthy grocery shopping. Shop for healthy food on a budget, and find out what vitamins and minerals older folks take. And this doesn't mean that you need vitamins and minerals for those that don't believe in the whole supplement thing, but you can certainly check out other people and how they actually increase their livelihood, their spunk that they have in their life, and feeling good from day to day. Now, the first thing that I want to start into is like your antioxidants. Now, these antioxidants, the body's trillion or so cells face formidable threats, and the formidable threats from the lack of food to infection with the virus. Another constant threat comes from the chemicals called free radicals. In every person, every human, we are faced with free radicals. In very high levels, they're capable of damaging cells and genetic material. So that means your DNA is even at risk. The body generates these free radicals as an inevitable byproduct of turning food into energy. So you will hear anabolism, you hear catabolism, and you will also hear these metabolic changes that the body goes through on a daily basis. Back to free radicals, they are also formed after exercising or exposure to cigarette smoke, air pollution, and sunlight. So the things that some people do on a, I guess a regular basis would be appropriate. These are some of the things that you want to reduce, because we can't run away from light or sunlight, or there's a lot of things. Exercise, some of us exercise every day, and free radicals. How do we resolve that? Well, as you continue to share, you'll get a better idea. But the proper nutrition and weight loss, all of these are different principles and ideas that you can use to embellish gracefully aging, and you can also embellish those things that you choose to maintain a graceful aging, such as what you eat, how much you sleep, how much you exercise, your environment, and so forth. Let's start off with essential fatty acids, called EFAs. Now, the proper nutrition and your weight loss are both hot topics in society today. It's important to be aware that weight loss does not necessarily translate into proper nutrition. Got to say that again. Some people think if you eat just a certain way or you make a certain drink, that this is the answer to weight loss, but it isn't. It's far deeper than that. And one of the things that is negated in most situations is that people do not pay attention to the effect of their DNA. And it has so much to do with your genes, have so much to do with the weight, some of the propensities that you may face on a daily basis. Many of the individuals believe that in order to lose weight, one must just eliminate fat from your diet. But unfortunately, this can be very harmful to your body, as certain types of fats are critical to proper function of the body. Now, these beneficial fats are known as essential fatty acids, or people, you'll hear EFAs, which is just the short way or the abbreviated way to spell it out and also to say it. There are essential because that the body cannot produce them. When you hear essential, just like essential amino acids like tryptophan, phenyl, we have tryptophan, we have lysine, and you have isoleucine, and you have methionine. These are some of the essential fatty acids that our body can't make. They're called essential. Now, there are two primary EFAs, and they're known as linoleic acid, and linoleic acid is omega-3. And there's also alpha linolenic acid, which is omega-3. That's the one that everyone finds difficult to add to their daily meal plan. Excuse me. Now, these EFAs, or the essential fatty acids, are necessary for these particular processes. The formation of healthy cell membranes, the proper development and functioning of the brain and the nervous system. Now, I want you to go back to EFA so that you can stick with me now. EFAs, when we talk about EFAs, we're talking about those oils. And remember, when we talk about those oils, I want to go back here again. I want to go back here just a little bit. The two primary EFAs, these are the primary, not the, we have also the omega 9s, but we're not concerned with that because they come in abundance. But the two that are super important, I'll say that number one is alpha linolenic acid. Alpha linolenic acid is number one, omega-3s. This is the oil that you hear people speak about for brain health. And that is to preserve your brain, to protect your brain, and to keep it healthy. Now, some people don't think about this until too late when they have some sort of dementia like Alzheimer's. The linolenic acid is very important too, because linolenic acid plays a very important part in the lubrication of your joints, brain health also, but it also helps to reduce the LDLs, which are the low density lipoproteins. So as I continue here, the EFAs, or the essential fatty acids, are also important for the regulation of blood pressure, liver function, immune and inflammatory responses, along with hormone production. Now, we talk about hormones a lot. You've probably heard of an endocrinologist, and these are the doctors that specialize in hormone production. But the hormone production is that function is we have the ability of that function because of the EFAs. Now, the EFAs are also necessary for the regulation of blood clotting. Now, usually you hear vitamin K, or it's also called hypercoagulative properties or hypercoagulation. That's blood clotting. We need that. That's very important, so we don't bleed to death in those situations where we may be hemorrhaging or bleeding too from an acute damage or injury. So the regulation of blood clotting includes the omega-6 fatty acids, which encourage blood clot formation, whereas the omega-3 oil reduces the clotting. So you see this, they have different properties. Omega-6, it actually encourages the blood clot formation, whereas the omega-3 oil reduces the clotting. So you see how they offset each other, so that there'll be a good balance, a very healthy balance. The idea is to achieve the balance between the omega-6 and the omega-3 acids. Now, it's crucial also, essential fatty acids are crucial for the transport and the breakdown of cholesterol. Cholesterol is super important to our body, and we have the so-called bad cholesterol, and we have the good cholesterol. But for now, let's think about the crucial transport and the breakdown of cholesterol. That's what EFAs help as a function. Another function is to support healthy skin and hair. Now, this is super important because many people are using a lot of cosmetics, but guess what? They're not getting any kind of, their hair is too dry or it's too oily. Well, let's start off with one of the sources, omega-3s. Omega-3s include flax seeds, pumpkin seeds, soybeans, and its products such as tofu and tempeh, along with walnuts and dark green veggies. And I'll talk about more of that later on, because I want to talk to you about some of the anthocyanins. And once we start talking about the anthocyanins, you will get a better idea about the fruit, the vegetable, and the color of the peel of these particular fruits and vegetables. Also, grains are very important too. We'll talk about that. But the kale and the collard greens, chard, parsley, and cereal grasses. Now, cereal grasses, may not have heard that before, but that's your wheat and your barley. And this is really very helpful when it comes to talking about and the effect and the function of fiber, insoluble and soluble fibers. they're all good sources. Now, this is because the all green, those things that are all green, like you'll see sprouts that are all green, you'll see kale that's all green, you'll see spinach that's all green. All of these foods are chlorophyll rich. Now, that's what makes them green, chlorophyll rich. Now, these are the foods that contain omega-3 fatty acids in their chloroplast. So these are those green cells, or these are the cells that actually make that particular plant green. And that's why it becomes or is chlorophyll rich. So when you're drinking that bottle, or you drinking that 4 ounces of chlorophyll, however it's been prescribed to you, then you know that that particular chlorophyll contains omega-3. And that's really important. The omega-3 FAs, or the omega-3 fatty acids, are super important to our body. Now, there are other sources of vitamin or omega-6 fatty acids. See, now we're understanding, you've heard this so much. Omega-3, yeah, I want omega-3s. What the hell is it? And what happens is we get very, very irritable and agitated when it comes to this information. So we'll go ahead and say, I don't need to know it. As long as everybody else eating, I guess it's all right. But the attitude is, I want you to actually find out, how is it helping you? Because then it makes more sense. And remember, you're always fighting against the wind with this, because especially in our families and our loved ones, unfortunately, they like to, they stand up against resistance. Experts advise that one should consume a minimum of between 3 and 5% calories from omega-6s, and about 5%, or about 0.5% to 1% of omega-3 fatty acids. In the year 2000, all of these things were different. Like we had, like, the year 2000 just was around the corner, just a few years ago, and we're still doing some of the things that we're doing back then and before then. We continue to do them. When I talk about the free radicals, I'm not just talking about yesterday with the Black Panthers and Black Power and Ernest Chambers and those beautiful people, but we're just talking about the free radicals that we face every day. I want you to keep this in mind, because instead of just, we need to know that, yeah, I know that they're pairing, they're injured, these electrons are pairing with each other. So to give you a better idea, the free radicals come in many shapes and sizes and chemical configurations. What they all share is a voracious appetite for electrons, stealing them from any nearby substances that will yield them. Now, this electron theft can radically alter the loser's structure or function. Okay, because this is what I mean by losers, is that the fighting these free radicals, they want to be paired by another electron, and they're damaging the cell as they are searching for or stealing these electrons. Free radical damage can change the instructions coded in a strand of DNA. So this is very important, that if we don't eat the food to counter these free radicals, it can definitely be to our demise. So we want to make great choices, healthy choices. An excessive chronic amount of free radicals in the body causes a condition called oxidative stress. You probably heard that, which may damage cells and lead to chronic diseases. Now you can see right here very clearly, you see the youth and you see the aging here. And that's what happens in a very short while. These two people are probably somewhere between 15 to 20 years different in their age. And in this age, you'll see what can happen to the body. If you take care of it, you will have less wrinkling in most people. And if you negate it, then you will definitely have a display of too many of the free radicals. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shrink that down. And I'm going to bring back Carolyn so that we can stop and say hello to everybody for a moment. Carolyn, come on up.
Yes. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us here in the Mind of Nature. Today's topic is aging gracefully. Thank you all so much for joining us. If you have not already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is Dr. Farid Zarif. YouTube channel, Dr. Farid Zarif. If you are on Instagram or even on Facebook and you'd like to come over to YouTube, you can go into Dr. Zarif's stories, and there's a link in the stories. That's just if you would like to join us here on YouTube. If not, then that's fine. But thank you all so much for joining us here. Great information as always, Dr. Zarif. Really appreciate you. And thank you to everyone that's joined us here. We have Denise Kane. Good morning to you. Hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining us. Renee Johnson also joined us on a bike ride. That's right. Getting her workout in. I appreciate doing that. Suzette Storytime for Children. Thank you for joining us here. And over on Instagram, we have, let me go over here, author Natasha Smith. Thank you. And hello to you as well. Thank you so much for joining us here. Shelly's Unique Boutique. Thank you for joining us over on Instagram. We really appreciate everyone that joins and comments, shares the lives. Really do appreciate it. Dr. Zarif, if you can join me back here on stage. I know you got a lot more to share. This is great information.
Thank you very, very much. And thank you for everybody who's here today. Kara, thank you for always taking care of business, and I really appreciate it. We're looking good. I'm going to go ahead and continue, Kara, as we continue to talk about gracefully aging. One of the things, as you see here, I want to go right to see all these different colors of the fruits and vegetables. Now, over time, a lot of people have avoided this simply because we're just not raised like that. Usually it's just eat what you can get. For one thing, for some of our families, it wasn't about, choosing all these different things to eat. We didn't have all these choices, or we didn't make these choices, but we were used to some of the things that were cheaper foods in quality. Other foods that, and in price, of course. But these foods that we eat today can help us tremendously by understanding some of these beautiful colors that we get, as you see in the carrots, tomatoes, the broccoli, the lettuces, peaches, berries, wine. Now, something about wine, and you see these berries and grapes, you notice that they are all purple. And we're going to go back over this again, but the still being resveratrol is a very powerful prohibitor when it comes to plaque, or the LDL sticking to the lumen or the walls of your arteries. So we want to make sure that we add this into our daily menu. Also, we have green tea and the white tea. Now, this is really, really wonderful because it also helps to, it's a natural diuretic to make sure, especially people that are retaining urine as we get older, and or if you're having any bladder problems, this is one of the tools that you can use. Check with your doctor so that you make sure that is compatible with what you're already taking as far as your medications. Then we have essential oils, which is very important. Now, essential oils are also called phytosterols. Phytosterols, phyto or phytos means plant, and sterols means oils. So when you look down here in the lower right-hand corner, that's exactly what we see, essential oils, and they come in various aromas. The herbs, the cinnamon, the ginger, all of the different types of the cumin and curry, all of these are wonderful, and they're very healthy for our consumption. Now, from there, we just talked about some of the the foods here. These are radicals, and to fight against the free radicals, and is fighting against premature aging, wrinkling, loose skin, and of course you got to exercise too. You got to move, and you will find that your skin will be have more tone by you working out. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about the antioxidant properties. They're natural chemicals that protect the body from damage caused by harmful molecules. These harmful molecules are called free radicals. Put it together now, you got it? So now these antioxidants, they're the natural chemicals that we find in the peaches and the apples and the grapes and all of that. But the damage that they actually protect the body, but the damage that's caused by harmful molecules, they're called the free radicals. So keep all of that stuff divided so that you'll understand it as you go along. Many experts believe that this damage is a factor in the development of cancer and other conditions. That's why you hear many people talk against eating foods that are the ones that are laden with, let's say, fungicides and pesticides, herbicides, the ones that are, sprayed with these different chemicals, and they also other harm that they do naturally, as it is a part of our aging process. But it's super important that you get these antioxidants in your body, because experts, and according to the studies, all the studies that have been done, the experts do say that we need to avoid these foods that do not have the antioxidants, and like those that are on the shelves for a long time, the ones that even when you have this habit of eating foods that can be very detrimental to you, that have been pasteurized, that have been refined, they're ultra processed, all of this can cause the increase of risk for cancer and other conditions. Now, it doesn't sound like when we talk about fruit that we're talking about a whole, chemical item of concern and complexity. So let's look at the chemistry of strawberries. Now, with strawberries have three things that are in chemical form. One is the aroma. That's the way that it smells. So now the furanil, or the furanil right here on the side, the molecular structure or chemically is written just as you see it there. And on the right side, we have the methoxyfuranil. The methoxyphenyl also are, both of these are the key molecules in the aroma in strawberries. So although we say, it smells good, but what is it? Most people say, oh, that's what a strawberry smells like. But suppose you say, what is it? And you don't see a strawberry. There's no strawberry in ice cream. You just see nothing there, but you can smell it. Well, these are the two key molecules in aroma, in the aroma of strawberries. And again, the furanil and the methoxyphenyl, they're concentrations that increase as the fruit ripens. And the older the fruit gets, or the more that it ripens, the more it breaks down to sugar. Reaching maximum of fully ripening, and then of course it eventually returns back to earth. Strawberry scented perfumes owe their aroma to furanil. Furanil is in essence the smell of strawberry. And this is why you can make these different ice creams and oils and stuff, and smells just like strawberry. And you're like, wow, how you get strawberry oil? So these are some of the chemical structures that are used in the lab, and this is the language in which the technicians, doctors, and scientists use. Now, when it comes to the color, the structure of the anthocyanidins. Now, I said it like that because you're all going to hear about the anthocyanidins, and then there's some other words that are very, very close to that. So I'll let you know when we get to those. Like other fruits, strawberries get their color from the anthocyanins. See, already cyanins, and I just read the anthocyanidins. So it's very close. They're different, but they are compounds that come from the addition of the molecule, and that molecule is called the anthocyanidin. The anthocyanidin, and that's the very first one, the anthocyanidins, along with the anthocyanins. That's definitely different. Now, the major anthocyanin is present in strawberries, and that color is mainly and this is another long word, is the pelargonidin. Pelargonidin 3 glucoside is the entire name. But these are some of the things. I don't know if you ever need that, but here, you'll see in if this was an apple, we'll be doing the same thing, breaking it down by the aroma, the color, and the sweetness. Now, when it comes to the sweetness here, you'll see that the sugar, and I've said this earlier, the sugar content increased by the weight. So if the ripening or the weight, the size increases, then the sugar content increases. So that sugar can be from 5%, but as 5% when it's not ripe, it has sugar in it. But as it ripens, it increases the sugar content to 9 or more percent. Again, chemically, this is how you look at that molecule. And over here on the right, this is a molecule of an indole. Now, an indole 3-acetic acid is the most abundant plant auxin. Now, I know oxen is really important because if you study botany or you understand plants, an oxen is actually a plant molecule. And this plant molecule, the auxin are plants that have much of their activity regulated by plant hormones. Now, the plant hormones act as chemical signals which control the development of the plant. So and then you'll see as we go along here that with the auxin in place, or the plant hormones, it is what helps the plant face the sun and to get the sunlight on it, also to proliferate cells and so forth. So the hormone of a plant works similar to some of the hormones that work in adult, because we're talking about the changing and the regulation of cells, of tissues, and organs. Now, more of this, this is the auxin eradication. It causes a terminal bud to point toward the sun, as I was saying earlier. This is the terminal right here, the terminal bud, and this is all plants have these particular auxins in them. The sunlight from above, the plant produces auxins in equal amounts around the shoot. The shoot grows straight. So you see here, these are auxins here. And what happens is that they cause you, when you see a plant grow up, if you have an elongated cells here, you'll see that the sun eradicates the auxins on the sunny side, causing the cells on the shady side grown longer. So you'll see the curvature right here. You see that curvature. You'll see when a plant starts to spread out, then that is because of the terminal bud that is packed with the auxins, which are the plant hormones. And that's how you get the shaping and the size when you see the plants grow up and out. Those are auxins. And this is very good to know, because usually that's not taught in school. Some of the plant pigments here, you see all of these are the different plant pigments, different colors here, the blackberries, the cherries, the different types of carrots, red peppers, oranges, all of these different colors. Now, let's see if we can break down some of those colors. When you see, I'll go back and forth. When you see like let's look at red, purple. Now, red, purple are we just went over this, the anthocyanins and the polyphenols. So anthocyanins and the polyphenols, these are the red and purple. The color of the fruit is in the red and purple category. So the grapes and blackberries, the red wine, raspberries, and blueberries are all filled with anthocyanins and polyphenols. I'll go into a little even more with you. Let's go over here, over to your right, the last column in your right. This is also in the same, these are what we're talking about, but more eggplant. You see how purple they are. And then you have elderberries and grapes and plums, pomegranate, prunes, purple Belgium, purple potatoes, so forth. But in the same category, we have papayas and pink grapefruit, and all of these pomegranates and radishes and red grapes, all of those are in that same category also. And they're filled with anthocyanins and polyphenols. Then we have orange and orange yellow, and we have yellow green. Now, the orange has alpha beta carotene, and you get that from the carrots, the mangoes, the pumpkin. But let's look at that again. Orange. Where is orange over here? So orange and yellow, or orange by itself here, when orange and red can be in the same category with the beta carotene and alpha carotene. So you will see the different types of fruit and vegetables in that particular area. Now, orange would be like your carrots, your mangoes, and your pumpkins, and you'll see other particular fruit and vegetables there. Now, then you have like the orange yellow. Orange yellow. Now, this is beta cryptoxanthin. So the beta cryptoxanthin is another long word for a chemical. And flavonoids. Flavonoids, you probably heard of that because they're pretty popular. And they're in the cantaloupes, the peaches, tangerines, papayas, and oranges. And then, of course, the yellow green. The yellow green has these wonderful polyphenols or nutrients called lutein and zeaxanthin. Lutein and zeaxanthin is found in spinach and avocado, honeydew melon. The yellow green, see, this is green here and the yellow. So these are shared that you can find in green grapes, for instance. You'll also find they're a good source of lutein and zeaxanthin. So I am going to just break for here a second. We've almost been on an hour straight. So we're going to bring Kara back up to the stage, and we'll continue with this wonderful presentation.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. It's just great information. I'm just like, like tuned in and just looking at all the great, the breakdown of everything and how you have it. It's just great, just great information. I just wanted to say, I'm happy that earlier on you mentioned reducing the intake of free radicals, because I know sometimes some people may feel like they have to get rid of it completely, but because you said like it's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
When we're outside and everything else, you don't want to be just consumed with feeling afraid to go outside, because you want to be outside in nature. I know Renee Johnson just mentioned she's on a bike ride. That was great to hear. It's just great to know that people are getting outside and getting some air. So
grounding,
What'd you say?
The grounding,
Yes.
Yes,
Absolutely. So get out there and reduce, of course, as far as you were talking about free radicals, but don't be afraid of going outside and getting some fresh air and
right,
wiggling your toes in the sand.
Yes. And the thing about it, Kara, is that when we go out and we eat certain foods, those are foods that's going to actually neutralize some of that. So when we're eating these foods, we can go out and have a ball, do the things that you want to do, because it's just natural. I mean, we're all affected by that, and that's what keeps life. This continues life. So is very important. That's a good point. Yeah, don't get caught up in the fear of it, because that's what all these years, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, and practically, well, all my life, I've heard some of these stories that won't push you forward or won't help you to graduate from one level to another. Instead, we grow with more fear. And it's like, I'm not eating that. I heard that's a hybrid. Well, I'm not eating that. I heard that sugar and that. No. And this is why we have to become more nutrition literate. And when we become more nutrition literate, then we can also keep our bodies strong. We can keep our bodies healthy. When
Right.
we don't know, we continue to push these same narratives. And
Right.
when we push these same narratives, we end up in the same place every time.
Yes. If you are on Instagram, you can jump over to the YouTube channel because I do see the time going off on Instagram. So you can go into the stories and watch us on YouTube. Just wanted to get that out before it shut off on Instagram because we are right at 1 hour.
Well, we'll go a few more seconds and we'll let everybody know. But I want to go over a few more things. So if everyone will oblige me with your time here just a little bit, I really want to do a couple more things. We've gone over what have we got? Okay, we're getting a couple of things here. Technically, got it. Okay, so we talked about the antioxidants, or we talked about the polyphenols. We talked about anthocyanins. We talked about the cyanidins. So we've talked about a lot of stuff here. And I want to add a little bit more, just a little bit more. So let's go ahead and we'll knock out phytochemicals. And phytochemicals means the chemicals that come from plants. Phytochemicals are plant-based bioactive compounds that they're produced by plants for their protection. Now, they can be derived from various sources such as whole grains, your fruits, vegetables, nuts, herbs, and more than 1,000 phytochemicals have been discovered to date. Now, some of the significant phytochemicals are carotenoids, polyphenols, isoprenoids, phytosterols, saponins, dietary fibers, and certain polysaccharides. Now, if this sounds like French to you, don't worry about it. You just got to keep going, because as you keep going, you'll see that you'll get better and better. And then before you know it, what used to sound like a foreign language to you, you understand it. But you need to give yourself time, and you need to be consistent. You need to show up. You need to continue. It's free, man. Anyway, look, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about when it comes to the phytochemicals is that the phytochemicals actually possess strong antioxidant activities. There's ones that we just talked about earlier. Antioxidant are those substances that fight against cancer. They also help to regulate gene transcription. They enhance the gap junction communication, improve immunity, and provide protection against lung and prostate cancers. This is very important because Black men lead in prostate cancer today. And if you don't do anything about it, and you don't improve your choices, and you keep eating what you've always eaten, then you can pretty much expect that we'll get the same type of results. The phytochemicals are also exhibit the antimicrobial, antidiarrheal, and the anthelmintic. I'll explain that here. The anthelmintic is any drug that acts against infection and is caused by parasitic worms. Parasitic worms, those are helminths. And the helminths, the parasite, one thing about the parasitic worms, they don't even exist in people that do not eat. If you don't eat meat and you don't eat animals, you don't have to worry about parasites, especially if you haven't eaten those for years. But if you have eaten them and you're changing to a healthier way of eating, you might find that you have to clear those parasites out. And how do you do that? Well, you have to see a professional and get some work done. Anthocyanins, I'll go ahead and bypass that, and we'll go through anthocyanins again. These anthocyanins you see got in purple and you have them in green, and other sources of the anthocyanins include purple corn and cherries, plums, pomegranate, eggplant, grapes, red purple vegetables such as black carrots, red cabbage, purple cauliflower. So when you go to Trader Joe's or you go to Sprouts or you go to any of these health food places or farmers market, look for these because these are really, really powerful. They can contain as few milligrams up to 200 to 300 milligrams per 100 grams of product. So you can actually take a lot of these anthocyanins. You can ingest them. And again, what do? They reduce the risk of cancer. So important. They do other things too, like you can see the fiber there. You can see other different, we talked about chloroplast earlier for those green plants and the chlorophyll there. It's a lot of wonderful things. Okay, so we'll go ahead and stop here. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm just remember some of the things that I want you to remember is the principles of your youthful appearance, and that you'll find that in sun protection. You'll also find that in hydrating your body, getting plenty of sleep, moisturize. Don't forget your vitamins, eating a healthy diet. Never skip your cleanser. Now, what am I talking about when I say cleanser? Well, makeup is a beautiful way to appear, but you must remember to clean, to take a cleanser and remove your makeup if you're using makeup, because if not, you're absorbing that through the night, and then you'll be dealing with a toxin, and after many uses of that, it can cause complications. I'll avoid those things so I won't freak you out. Stay active. That's another very important. You can stay up here, Carrie. Come on back if you like. We're just seconds away. Low to no stress. Stress is very important. Being those things that, like the atmosphere or around people that are about peace. Watch what you're watching on TV. That stuff is very, very addictive. When you hear somebody cursing the person out, or Karen just is going crazy, or somebody slapped the person, or all of that stuff. I have to watch that too, because I'm like, I'll make up some excuse and, well, I just want to know what's going on. No, that stuff will drive you nuts, and it'll get you. Anyway. Power of organization is super important. I know that most of us listening to this right now can agree with this. Reduce misplacing your items and losing valuables by being neat. Do something now. You can today, if you have a closet that's all jammed up, you got stuff thrown all up. And I know people that do this. So let's get on the case. This will really make it very, very easier for you as you move on. Be constructive. Use your visualization. Look at that, how neat everything is. Sometimes things won't be that neat. And some people say, oh, they're fastidious. But the thing about it is that the person that is sloppy can find stuff because that's their system. They have stuff all over the place. And you can also use neatness as a habit, and you'll find yourself really enjoying that that particular habit. Okay, everybody, create a steady routine. Have a beautiful, beautiful day. As I thank you all for being here today. Whew, got a lot. That was a lot of stuff. And thank you all for coming. And we got a lot done. Thank you for being here, Karen.
Yes. That was really great. I don't know if people really think about just as far as the organization or being organized. my keys. I always make sure I keep my keys in one area so I know that I'm not worried and stressed, especially when it's time for me to leave out and go to work. So I'm happy that you said that, because I'm like, yes, I'm doing something right. Whenever I see you're checking off things, and I'm like, oh, I do that. Oh, I do that. Oh, I need to work on that. So really great information, Dr. Zarif, as always. To everyone watching, thank you all so much for joining us here in the Mind of Nature. Our mission is to bring awareness, listen to your feedback, and now it's time for you to take action on the things that you learned here today. We are here every Saturday, 8 a.m. PST. So I just thank everyone so much for joining us and commenting, sharing, giving the thumbs up, the hearts, all of that stuff. It all matters. And we appreciate you all so much for doing that. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is Dr. Farid Zarif. Dr. Zarif.
Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you the next time right here on the Mind of Nature. Peace.